Anas Sarwar.
Presiding Officer, ministers and officials knowingly deleted evidence for the COVID inquiry, and the answer to this betrayal of the Scottish people, a review into how the Scottish Government records information. In 2020, when we had the salmon inquiry and there were accusations of a cover-up, what did they do? Promise a review. In 2022, when we had investigations into the ferry scandal and there were accusations of a cover-up, what did they do? Promise a review. And now we have the industrial-scale deletion of evidence for the COVID inquiry. And what's this First Minister's answer? A review. They simply don't get it. Pamela Thomas, who lost her brother during the pandemic, said this yesterday. I don't think they're capable of actually telling the truth or being transparent. Pamela's right, isn't she?
First Minister.
I want to, of course, express my condolence to every single member of the country who lost a loved one through COVID, Pamela, of course, included. And I make this point again to Anas Sarwar, that all of us, including, of course, members of this government, also lost loved ones to COVID. The ministerial colleagues who have relatives who continue to suffer the long-term effects of COVID. I have colleagues who had to, of course, restrict the numbers who could attend the funeral of a loved one. Many of us, myself included, had children who were impacted because of the closure of schools because of COVID. And I say that not because I'm trying to garner any sympathy from Anas Sarwar or anybody else. I say that because we were all in this together. We were not detached somehow from the impacts or the effects of the pandemic. And that's why every decision we made was made with one overarching priority in mind: how to protect as many people as we could from the harm of COVID. Do I think we got every decision right? No, I don't. I don't think any government in the world, any government leader in the world, could put their hand in their heart and say they got every single decision right. What I can say is we did it for the right reasons. And on the big decisions that were crucial to saving lives, I believe on many of them we got them right. Some, of course, will not have got right. And I promise those who have been bereaved by COVID, the families of those who have been bereaved by COVID, that not only will we continue to cooperate with both inquiries, but we promise to learn the lessons of those inquiries too.
Anas Sarwar.
The COVID-bereaved families don't believe the First Minister when he gives those reassurances. The COVID inquiry is about learning the lessons so this can never happen again. But they have been obstructed by this government, with evidence supplied late or not at all. The decisions the inquiry is investigating still weigh on the people across this country. Why were COVID-positive patients sent into care homes? Why was inadequate PPE being supplied to care workers and leaving people exposed? What impact did lockdowns have on our young people who missed out on years of education? 3 years ago, in an election during the pandemic, many people in Scotland voted for his party because they thought Nicola Sturgeon did the best she could. They trusted her when she said this Parliament would be about COVID recovery. Now those same people have had their trust broken by this government, and they're appalled at the cover-up. First Minister, isn't it true? It's not just the messages that have disappeared. So has the trust in this SNP government.
First Minister.
I tend to leave the verdict of trust to the people of Scotland. Anas Sarwar is right. One of the major factors of why the SNP is back into power is because of our handling over the course of the pandemic. And that wasn't judged. Anas Sarwar shouting, wow, I'm saying to Anas that he's absolutely correct and one of the reasons why we're standing here. What I don't think was an issue during the 2021 election was our retention policy, our record management policy. It was whether or not we got the calls right in relation to the vaccination programme. It's whether, of course, we did the right thing in terms of introducing non-pharmaceutical interventions. Anas Sarwar talks about, in his words, an industrial scale deletion. We handed over 28,000 WhatsApp messages and 19,000 documents. Anas Sarwar is right to ask questions about care homes, around PPE, about lockdown and its impacts. These are exactly the questions the inquiry is examining. And this suggestion from Anas Sarwar that somehow we're not being transparent, can I remind Anas Sarwar that not only are we cooperating with a UK inquiry, we're the only nation in the UK to specifically establish an inquiry in our country. And we'll also be cooperating with that Scottish inquiry too. Nicola Sturgeon, over 250 media briefings. Ministers in this government attended this Parliament not on dozens of occasions, but hundreds of occasions, explaining the reason why we took decisions. And, Presiding Officer, I go back to the very central point here. We didn't get everything right, and certainly not in relation to retention of messages. What we did get right, and what we did do, is the intention behind our decisions was to protect people from harm. And what we did, according to the World Health Organisations, through the interventions we took, helped to save over 23,000 people's lives. Those are 23,000 people that would not be here if it was not for vaccinations, if it was not for the non-pharmaceutical interventions and the decisions that this government took. And I make no apologies for that.